Warning: Entertainment Banter uses language that might be inappropriate for some viewers. Viewer discretion is advised. This means you, children.
Ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, welcome back to Entertainment Banter. My name is Joel.
And I'm Matt.
And today's episode, we like to play predictions.
Predictions? Okay, I'm seeing in your future more debt.
Ouch.
No. All right, predictions and what, my
No,
friend?
like,
Joel's excited.
We go back and forth a lot. In Entertainment Banter, we like to talk topics. We like to talk movies. We like to stick around Marvel a lot, and then we like to do predictions on Marvel movies. Matt, what trailer just dropped?
Oh, let's see. Black Widow 3. No, that's not it.
That is it. That is
let's
it.
See.
That is exactly what it is. Black Widow.
X-Men 12. No, that wasn't it.
Black Widow's now played by a short, bald old man.
Yeah. No, Joel's really excited because it's the third, right? Official Spider-Man movie for Marvel Cinematic Universe.
It's the first, third. Yeah, it's what are we trying to say here? It's the
officially third. His movies, right?
Officially,
his movies.
It's Tom Holland's
Spider-Man standalone third Spider-Man movie.
It will be the sixth movie he's in.
Right.
But this is Sony's Marvel movie, if you want to look at it that way. But Disney completely controls, except the Spider-Man aspect of it, which is weird. Weird rights. We're not getting into that. But this
not
is
right now.
Probably the the 8th Spider-Man standalone movie from Sony. Ninth standalone Spider-Man movie from Sony.
3 from Tobey, 2 from
Andrew, 1 Spider-Verse.
Andrew Garfield.
1
Spider-Verse. Okay,
and then
so that's 6.
And then 2 Tom Holland, so this will be the third. So this makes the 9th standalone Spider-Man movie in the last 20 years.
Yeah. Have they gotten them right once?
I personally think no. They get really close, and I do appreciate the rides.
What about Tobey's first one?
The only issue I found about Tobey's first one is he wasn't a wisecracker enough, and it was just Tobey Maguire is Tobey Maguire.
Okay.
But he played it good. He played a good Spider-Man. The issue, I think Spider-Man 2 with Doc Ock is the better one of the trilogy. It's just he lost his wisecracking ability somehow. Somehow he was no longer a smartass, and that was whatever. But the person who played Doc Ock was brilliant. They do get aspects of the movie correct, or at least right in my mind. I feel like in a good Spider-Man movie, the whole point why people love Spider-Man is that he's relatable. He's a kid from Brooklyn. Or Queens, sorry. Captain America's from Brooklyn. Peter Parker's from Queens in New York. He's down on his luck, you know. He doesn't know his parents. He got left behind to his aunt and uncle. And he's just a high school student. He's just a nerd. He's above average intelligence, of course. But he's just one of those guys that never got along in high school, and people always picked on him. And everyone, you know, he's one of those guys that you can relate to. Like, if you were a nerd reading comics, that's who you were.
Right.
And then he gets bit by a radioactive spider, a mutated spider, a experimented spider, whatever the cause, it mixes with his DNA, and he becomes Arachnid Man. No, he becomes Spider-Man.
Right. So, all right. So, well, let's get into this because we don't have all day. So everyone knows the origin story of Spider-Man at some point.
Do they?
Let's, yeah. So here's the thing. Back a while ago, we talked about the reported rumors of old cast from previous movies being teased. We got James Jonah Jameson as a cameo in the last one, and Tobey Maguire is being rumored. I don't know about.
Wait, what did you call him? J. Jonah Jameson's character? What did you call him? J. Jonah. Yeah, you didn't say. Did you say the actor's name?
I said cameos like from these people.
Oh, okay.
Right, they're being teased.
right.
And he was the first one that officially came out in a film.
Right. He was in the post credit. Yeah. Mm-hmm.
Right, and so then they were also teasing.
He, by the way, nailed that character.
Sure, Michael Keaton. They're teasing Michael Keaton's Vulture. They're
Morbius.
Teasing Tobey Maguire Morbius. So everyone's all abuzz. Disney bought Fox. Yada yada. Whoop-de-doo. Who cares?
Right.
Here's the thing. So people are thinking, oh wow, like are they gonna utilize these characters from all the movies and tie it in some multiverse? So now,
Andrew Garfield and Tom Maguire have been confirmed that they are being paid to be Spider-Man once again. Nobody knows for what. Everyone was trying to poke at, like, is Spider-Man 3, is it because it's Spider-Man 3 because there's 3 Spider-Men in it? Well, let's break it down real quick. You're going to hear it first on Entertainment Banter with Joel and Matt. I'm going to start from the beginning of when Tom Holland was introduced as Spider-Man in Civil War. Now, when he was first introduced and he had Aunt May, he already lost Uncle Ben. He never had the suit. We already started building this character relationship with Robert Downey Jr.'s character, Tony Stark, as his father figure. We skipped the whole Ben Parker portion of it, even though that's a major part, and I feel like that's what Disney missed out on the beginning creating of Tom Holland's character. We should have seen some kind of flashback. I know they didn't want to do it again for the 3rd time, but I feel like it was needed to build that character. But if they didn't do that, why? The reason we're going to go down this road, in my predictions, is the reasons why they didn't do that. One of the main reasons is we are not following Tom Holland's story into becoming Spider-Man. We are actually witnessing the story of Miles Morales to become Spider-Man.
Fascinating. Tell me more.
And there is confirmations that Kevin Feige has said in the first Spider-Man movie, Homecoming, that we are in the Miles Morales does exist in this universe. Now, in the scene in the first Spider-Man movie of Tom Holland, he is seen interrogating horribly a black gentleman to his car. We find out later that is Miles Morales' uncle, who later becomes the Prowler. Now, that is very important to know that. Apparently, there is a scene or an Easter egg somewhere that Miles' father is somewhere. You see him or whatnot. I don't know. Another clue to all this is that Sony wanted to release Into the Spider-Verse to get people used to see if people were into having Miles becoming Spider-Man and having a Peter Parker die. Now, I mention that because in order for Miles Morales to become Spider-Man, a Peter Parker needs to die. No matter what story.
A very young Peter Parker.
Even though they used the college professor one in Spider-Verse, it did work. Someone needs to die, because the reason why Peter Parker becomes Spider-Man is because with great power becomes great responsibility. And we all know the origins. Peter let a wrestler or a crook escape the wrestling area where he wasn't a wrestler, was a crook who stole the money. And eventually we find out later that one kills Ben Parker. Now, Peter could definitely have stopped him because of his spider abilities.
Yep.
So, with this Peter Tingle, whatever they want to call it now.
They do say that, don't they?
They do say that. So, with that being said, we don't get any of that to see the creation of why Peter becomes Spider-Man. More or less, we get to him drooling over Tony Stark tech and all that, which is fine. It does happen in the comics in some form, but in what comic that happens in? It happens in the Ultimate Spider-Man series. I think it's the Ultimate, right? The Miles Morales.
You would know more than me. I haven't read Ultimates in forever.
I can't remember,
I only
but
did the first 20 books.
But that is the exact comic book series of where Miles comes to be, and
that's true. Yes.
So. And we also should point out that Peter dies in the comics in Death of Spider-Man at around age 16 in the comics. And Miles is about 13 years old. What age is Tom Holland portraying in these movies? A high school student.
Right.
Perfect age. Now, we are building up to Miles coming to be. Now, they liked the Spider-Verse was a very successful Spider-Man movie. I think it was probably the best Spider-Man movie.
Well, here's the thing. If you're a fanboy of Spider-Man, it was a very well-made movie. I don't think it did well at the box office, though.
I thought it did. I thought it was their highest grossing. Far From Home was the highest grossing Spider-Man movie.
I don't think Into the Spider-Verse made as much as they wanted. I think it was, in their opinion, it didn't do well.
But they're making a second one, I heard.
Probably, I would hope so. Because it looks like they might even bring in 2099 Spider-Man.
Oh, did they? Or was it because they're calling this No Way Home the Spider and the new one. Who knows?
Maybe. I mean, I watched Into the Spider-Verse, and the more I watch it, every time I watch it, I enjoy it.
It's a
more
fun
and more,
movie.
so.
Absolutely.
It's a great, fun
Yeah.
ride. And my son loves it. You know,
And
he just watches it all the time.
I love a good movie that gives you the feels. And when Peter dies and Mary Jane gives that speech, it gives you the chills, and it still holds the humor of what Spider-Man is. And she goes, I'm looking at you. And then
In the comic,
yeah. No, even in the movie The Spider-Verse, Mary Jane gives her speech, and she goes, you have to protect this city now. And then she's like, it's metaphorically she's saying everybody, but Miles in the audience goes, I can do this. Some guy goes, I think she's talking metaphorically.
right.
But he's he's now going to be the new Spider-Man.
That, right? Yeah.
So we're gonna get Miles. The other clue is the name No Way Home. Now, people are probably thinking No Way Home means he's probably going to get lost in the multiverse, which is a possibility. We're going to lose Tom Holland somehow, maybe a death, maybe not, but I believe this movie will be the turning point. Either we're going to see Tom Holland die. He's also hit 6 movies. He's already been known he wants to go do other things.
And has started
to do other things, and he's already been his obligation of, dude, he's done 6 movies now. It's intense.
Yeah, it's a great cash cow if you want to hold on to it.
Absolutely.
I mean, but
but actors get kind of bored of doing the same role. I know Thor, Chris Hemsworth said he will do it to the day he dies.
Yeah, well, I'm grateful for that because he's hilarious.
Right, some actors want to stay with it. Chris Evans turned down doing What If, the voice acting. Everyone else is voice acted by their character. Chris Evans said no. Apparently, I don't know the full story behind it. I thought it was money because Disney didn't want to pay him anymore because he's one of the expensive ones. But it turned out someone said that Chris Evans just didn't want to do it.
They paid Robert, right? Is he?
Yeah. Oh, yeah. They paid him. Oh, yeah.
There you go.
So, but maybe they did Robert. I don't know. Who knows? It still works. I don't know if you watched What If yet. His voice still
I haven't
works.
seen any of them yet, no. But I can tell you, I mean, those guys are set for life. I mean,
Tom
Holland at the age he's at, I mean, he's set for life,
Oh, yeah.
If he did it right. So.
Absolutely. As long as he didn't squander it. But who knows? He is British, so he's pretty good with money. Don Cheadle. Don Cheadle is not British. Did you know that?
I don't know where you're going with this, but keep going.
I don't know.
This is entertaining me. It's entertainment banter after all.
Weren't you and I talking about how I was saying Don Cheadle was British, and then you told me no, or was that with the girlfriend?
I don't know. Anyways, I can't remember if we had that.
So now we're in the movie No Way Home. Now we're into the movie No Way Home, and you're watching the trailer.
There's No Way Home. So you think he's gonna die or he's gonna get lost in the multiverse?
Forever into the multiverse. For all you nerds out there, I believe Doctor Strange is gonna play that catalyst of being Madam Web. They're not gonna induce a Madam Web, but I feel like Doctor Strange is gonna play that role, already messing with people's minds and everything and realities. So
I have a question for you. There have been. I don't know if it's in a comic, in the modern comics or older comics, but the drawing of Spider-Man as Doctor Strange. Have you seen that?
It was a What If.
That's What If too. Okay,
yeah, that was a What If.
Okay.
Yeah. That's probably what you've seen recently. I don't know that story, but we will find out in the coming weeks probably.
All right, so
we're in what?
Oh, you're gonna keep going?
Yeah, I got. Well, because we're in No Way Home. Yeah, of course, we're in No Way Home.
Okay.
I believe that, and you get the feeling watching this trailer. By the way, you see a black suited Spider-Man at some point. I don't know what that means. It's not. It's
in the trailer.
Yeah, you got to watch it again. I've already watched it a few times. I did not watch any YouTube video of them going, "These are all the Easter eggs." Did you see what that guy was eating in the cafeteria in the background? It totally said Stark Industries. Whatever. No, I don't analyze those trailers. I just keep noticing.
Cookies.
Oh, I know, right? So in the trailer, you get this feeling of it's going to end poorly for someone, and you're like, it's got to be Tom Holland, it's got to be Peter Parker. And I've been calling this for a while now, ever since they never did the whole Ben Parker story. I told you this theory.
Well, they never killed Gwen Stacy or Mary Jane either.
They didn't do any of that. So in the Amazing Spider-Man, or in the Death of a Spider-Man, Gwen Stacy and Mary Jane are both alive. He's also 16 years old, and he's fighting off his main villains. They're all hulked out on Hulk serum or something, and he takes a bullet for Captain America. They're probably going to ignore that. But he does fend off Green Goblin, who was a shock reveal of, did you know William Dafoe is now reprising his role as probably the best played Green Goblin they've had. And he's coming back, and so is, I don't know his name, the actor who does Doc Ock. He's also coming back. Mm-hmm. And, of course, You got Electro, Jamie Foxx, who's returning too.
Yep.
All three of them are kind of pictured in the trailer. Doc Ock was the big reveal though at the end, which was really
Right.
good. I love that. You got these chills when he popped out of that ground. So
True.
it feels like they're creating the Sinister Six real quick, unofficially, to
Because we've never seen it. We never
Nope.
got the chance.
and it's going to kill Peter Parker. But this is probably also going to spin off the Sinister Six for Sony as well. They're going to start making that as well.
Right.
But now it's creating all this universe. Now we
I
already
got an
know.
idea.
We already know that Andrew Garfield's and Tobey Maguire Spider-Man movies are now involved now. So if you haven't seen them yet, go watch those 5 movies so you know who these villains are.
As you've been talking,
Mm-hmm.
I just with your theory, the way that it's running,
Right.
I think you're dead on for a political reason, and that is
Oh God, what's your
No, no.
political reason?
no, it's not what you think. If Tom Holland's Spider-Man is gone, does Sony have access for Miles? Like they can have Spider-Man carry on forever in Sonyville with Miles.
Ooh.
Spider-Man movies straight up being Miles, and it still leaves the Peter Parker Spider-Man for Disney Marvel.
I think it's the other way around. It could be the
Think
reason
so?
why they're going this way because then Miles is owned completely
Miles
by
is
Disney.
by the Disney. I'd have to look
It
into
could
it.
be, but I don't know.
Okay.
I don't know what the complete rules are because I don't know if Sony has the rights to anything and everything that is Spider-Man. Hence why they've made Venom and hence why they made Morbius.
Right. Well, they haven't been making Peter films anymore, so that's why I'm asking.
No, because Disney has. I don't know the whole. I'm not a lawyer.
We'll have to look into.
Yeah,
that
I don't know.
after
I
this
don't know,
pod.
but
Yeah.
I get where you're going. I mean, it could be a way for them to make Miles
They
Morales
both
movies.
win out, right?
Right.
You know what I mean? They both win
But they
out.
also get their Sinister Six movies they've always wanted too, and they finally kicked
Right.
that off.
Well, here's the thing. I think you're right because Disney, if they want to carry on the legacy of Spider-Man and they make it Miles, obviously they're gonna have to keep Miles. You know,
Right.
I mean, unless they do that Spider-Verse spinoff, I don't know.
But here's the thing: we may not even see Miles in this movie, and we may not even see Tobey Maguire or Andrew Garfield as Spider-Man in this movie. My theory is that it's a what is it? Marvel's trying to throw us off. They're trying to get us off the trail.
Sure. Yeah.
So the next movie after this is Doctor Strange into the Multiverse of Madness. What better way to introduce them at that point? Miles could appear.
Two Miles,
Miles.
maybe.
Yeah, maybe.
Yeah.
They're going to maybe introduce the. They may have a Spider-Man or someone at the end because we're going to lose Tom Holland somehow. Either death would be the best way, but it could be a multiverse because people will get sad. If
Come
he
on, in the
dies,
comics, you never
if he
really
dies.
die.
Right.
Think about it. He can come back 10 years after his acting career has flopped, and he can say, "Hey, can I play the college Spider-Man? I wasn't stuck in the multiverse."
Well, like you have mentioned in the past, the multiverse is a cop out for a lot of fuck ups they do, and it's true. They use it as a fix, just like every movie uses time travel to fix bullshit. It's just cop outs to fix the plot and move on with the life. I mean, look at X-Men. We can go into that another day.
Good lord! You know what we need, by the way, anyone that's listening that does X-Men movies, we need another movie that focuses on the Phoenix. I have not seen enough of those. Can we have like 6 more?
By the way, the girlfriend asked me what other movies she needed to see to catch up what we haven't seen because I didn't think they were going to do this whole shit when I started making her watch all the movies. By the way, all the 22 Disney Marvel movies, but there's like over 50 Marvel movies since the 2000s. There's the
Is
three.
it really over 50?
There's
for
like
real?
3 Fantastic Fours. There's like 9 X-Men, not including Wolverines, not including the Deadpools. There's the Hulks. There's I already said Fantastic Fours. Then there's the 5 Spider-Mans,
you
the
got
6
Punisher
Spider-Mans,
and
the
Punisher
Punisher.
movies,
You got
Daredevil movies,
the
Elektra.
Daredevils. All these movies.
Yeah. It's been a long run. I can see why Martin Scorsese was like, these are just roller coaster rides. But you know what?
And they are fun rides.
They are
but
roller coaster rides.
But
That's why you go to the parks.
Right. This No Way Home though is the first Marvel movie since Endgame I've been super stoked about because I'm excited what's going to happen. I'm hoping they do kill off Tom Holland, but they don't have to. We may see something in the end credit scene of like Miles at high school or something.
I was just going to say
thing
that's
is,
my prediction.
He needs to witness the death though.
Well, here's my you're talking about your predictions. Here's my prediction. If your theory is correct, you're going to go through the whole movie, it's going to end, and then you're going to have an end credit, and the end credit is going to be the same scene of Peter dying, but this time from the perspective of Miles in the crowd.
Right.
Yeah.
And then in Into the Madness, Doctor Strange, we're probably going to witness either Tobey Maguire or Andrew Garfield or both teaching Miles how
Sure.
to use his powers.
Right, and that would be the perfect opportunity for them to come in to play.
But even though in the original comics they didn't do that, he had to learn on his own. He witnessed it, and he's realizing that if he realized when he had the powers, he could have done something to help Peter not die.
Right.
But in the Into the Spider-Verse, they had he had the same feeling too during Into the Spider-Verse with Sony's. But it would be kind of interesting to see Tom Maguire or Andrew Garfield teaching him how to be Spider-Man. It'd also be interesting to see where their characters have gone, see what Sony has done to those characters, because we're going to play like maybe years have passed. Who knows? Because obviously Tom Maguire is going to play college professor Peter, and Andrew Garfield's going to play college Peter. So it's going to be like, that's my prediction. Those are my predictions. Doctor Strange will be like Spider-Man 4 in theory, but Tom Holland will not be in it. Those are my theories. There's a possibility that they will appear all into the new Spider-Man movie, but it may not. It's hard. A lot of misdirection for Marvel. It could be a lot of misdirection. All these interviews, but we do know that now. We know that Willem Dafoe is confirmed. We've known that Tom Maguire has been milking this cash cow, but of course he would. And then Andrew Garfield has been signed on. So we don't know in what manner, but I feel like my prediction is pretty good. We'll see how it turns out.
Well, my only thing is like with everything Disney, you can't trust anything. They like to dangle that carrot, right?
Absolutely.
They like to make you think you're gonna. Again, it's a good way to rush to the theater, right? Get every fanboy to the theater, but who knows, right? And the multiverse aspect when it comes to Doctor Strange, my only concern for you, because I know how much you're a Spider-Man fan, is the fact that I feel like the multiverse of madness or whatever it's called is going to obviously spearhead and focus more on probably the Fantastic Four and space problems. It's not gonna. I would be surprised if there was a big focal point with Spider-Man
and
involved.
X-Men's they're slowly introducing. There's a lot of rumors that X-Men's being introduced as well, and slowly but surely they've been dropping stupid small Easter eggs that everyone like in the world are like conspiracy theories. Like, did you see that little detail that it's related to Logan? Come on, man.
Right. Well, I mean, and again, just because people like Hugh Jackman and Patrick Stewart sign on for things, it doesn't mean. I mean, I wasn't joking about that Phoenix movie. I own it.
They're going to do it again.
They're going to years. You know what I mean? Years. I never watched it. I just recently watched it, the Dark Phoenix one, and what irritates me is like that cast and that series was well done.
They were
but
casted
it still wasn't,
pretty well.
It still wasn't right though. You know what I mean? And they mixed that old Fox cast in with that world, and it still wasn't. You know what I mean? Like there's just never any. X-Men is like the bastard child of Marvel. Like everybody wants to take care of them to some extent, but like when they actually have it in hand, they just don't know what to do with it and just messed it all up. I just can't. So I can't get excited like, oh, Hugh Jackman and Patrick Stewart. I mean, I like them, but it's like, it's now we're just gonna add a third franchise of X-Men. So now they've all had one massive orgy. Great, who cares? They're all connected some way, but it's not.
Well,
you know what I mean? It's
I get
the stories have been so badly put together. It's like impossible to understand any of it.
It's you as you watch it, it's pretty difficult. But I mean, if you're a comic book fan, you're like, oh no, this is why they did this. This is why they did this. I'm excited about this new Spider-Man movie, but I have been hurt 5 other times in the past.
You can't trust Disney with
and I feel like I always get my hopes up for every time, and I always get hurt. So maybe this time I won't get hurt. It'll be the 9th one. Because even though I liked Into the Spider-Verse, it still hurt me. I'm like, this still isn't.
Well, here's the thing. I mean, if it's in theaters, right, which Disney's trying to destroy, so whatever. But they maybe now contractually speaking, they're not going to be able to, depending on how lawsuits turn out.
Oh yeah.
But the funny thing is, even if it's in theaters, and I don't want to say this because I don't want to hurt the revenue of the theaters themselves. But most of the first 2 weeks go to the Disney anyways. That the way they've made their contracts now is so douchey, it's not even funny. But don't go. I know as hard as it is, don't go for the first week or two. Don't stream it with Premiere Access. I mean, whatever it is, just sit back, let the other people go. Let them start grumbling about it, whether it was good or bad, and then you can kind of go. I don't think you're going to do that, but I'm just saying
it's going to be hard.
That way you don't put your money into a franchise that, like, again, like there was Star Wars. They dangled all this stuff in front of you, and then they still just like threw it in your face, you know, and like it was not what you were expecting.
I get it.
You know?
I mean,
what if William Dafoe's character's in it, and then like a second later, some other actor playing the Green Goblin kills him? Because it's the multiverse. If you got multiple Spider-Mans, who's to say you don't have multiple Green Goblins?
That doesn't bother me entirely. It's cool that they even have the idea of introducing it. That'd be really weird if they did that. I get my hopes up for Spider-Man, and I've been hurt so many times in the past. It's just one of those characters that I just hope for the best. And
well, you know, like look at
happens.
Mandalorian, right? Mandalorian, Star Wars, right?
Sure.
This is my final thought. Mandalorian, Star Wars.
Oh, thanks for that real quick. Final thought. Okay.
Well, this is my final thought, and then I'm going to ask what your final thought is. So my final thought is when they did Mandalorian Star Wars with Luke Skywalker, they kept it under wraps. They didn't advertise it. And I find it very scary that they're advertising it. It shows that Disney is desperate to get the fanboys back. So they say, we got to ruin some of these reveals because otherwise we're not going to get the draw that we want. There's nothing drawing these guys to see Spider-Man other than Tom Holland and
yes, you put a Spider-Man movie out there, the fanboys go see it.
Right. So we gotta dangle these carrots. Now, if normally you know what I mean, if politics and everything that happened with Disney and Marvel didn't transpire the way it did, they probably would have been able to get away with not revealing this. And so when people were in the theaters, they would have been like mind blown, right?
We still don't know what else they haven't revealed to us, but you're right.
But you know what I'm saying? But if like, let me put it this way. If you didn't hear William Dafoe, if you didn't see Doc Ock in the trailers, you just saw these trailers like, yeah, Spider-Man, No Way Home, I guess I'll go see it. I'm a Spider-Man fan. And then you go and you see it, and then those guys show up. What would you do in the theater? You'd freak out. You'd be like, oh my God,
I'd
this is amazing.
stab the guy to my left and hug the guy to my right.
But you know what I'm saying? Like, you would be so excited. And I feel like Disney's showing their hand because they're so scared that they're going to lose this Marvel franchise if they don't give the fanboys what they've been wanting, and not talking down to them the whole time.
Or it's another misdirection.
Which either way will just upset the fanboys more, and then you got suck it out of your money.
Just like the bullshit in WandaVision, it was a misdirection. It wasn't really Quicksilver from X-Men. You know what I mean?
Oh, totally. But that's the same. But that's what I'm trying to tell you. Like, don't go off of what they're saying. Go off on what they've done.
All right.
That's the hard part. So that's my final thought. What's your final thought?
Death of a Spider-Man is probably one of my favorite Spider-Man comics because it shows Peter becoming Spider-Man. He's only Spider-Man for very short time. He does as much good as he can, and he doesn't fail. He succeeds in saving his family and loved ones, and he stops everybody, but dies in the process. That's like a warrior's end. It's a great, beautiful story, and the last scene you see is him walking off with Uncle Ben around his arm, going, "You did good, son. You did good, kid." And it's just heartfelt, warming. So I love that story. So that's why I'm pumped if this is what we're going towards. I know there's a lot of predictions that it's not going this way, but I think we have a good argument of that's how it's going to go. And if it doesn't go that way, I won't be too bummed. I do enjoy a lot of the Spider-Man movies. They are fun rides. But I get where you're going with the politics and Disney, and we don't know what they're trying to pull. My final thought to finish this up, just to put some something for your mind to nibble on. Just remember, Scarlett Johansson's movie, Black Widow, first female Marvel character getting her solo movie, went to Disney Plus, premium bullshit, and Shang-Chi will not be.
Dun, dun, dun. Are you saying... Oh, man, you left it at that. Okay, well, on that note, thank you for listening to Entertainment Banter. My name is Matt.
I'm sure Matt's going to talk to me after this. And my name is Joel. And I'm done.
My outros are better than Joel's. Don't believe me? Watch the next video.